Hey, welcome to the Porch Bois podcast. This is your host and producer, CWal728, along with my, a little bit melancholic, but very friendly co-host
I'd
here,
say
Midget.
mercurial. Thank you,
Mercurial.
mercurial.
My apologies. Though, unfortunately, we're short one co-host, the big boy himself, John. But I think Midget and I can manage. There's more than enough of us to go around.
Yeah, there's more than enough of one of us, that's for sure.
True
There ain't
enough.
much of the other, I'll tell you that. So maybe come put us together and it's not so bad.
Exactly. Yeah,
I don't
John.
think it'll be so bad. I think we got our shit together tonight. We don't need that motherfucker.
No, we don't. If anything, he kind of messes things up more.
Yeah, man, for sure. His beard's all getting in the way.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Love it, dude.
before we
Love
get
it.
into the show,
Well, I'm still here for sure. I mean, maybe we should, make a few announcements about what the implications of John not being here tonight,
if you
right?
if you wouldn't mind, you're pretty up to date on it. You talk with John more than I do personally, so you might have
Well, I
details I'm not aware of.
suppose, we haven't come up with anything more than we can't do Tuesday, which we all already know. You and I, anyway,
Yeah.
already know. So, that's an announcement is that, like, John's employed in a different field and is not available at the hour of our prior meetings heretofore. So henceforth, we shall be, getting together, if you will, on a different night. And so far, we're leaning towards Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday
So,
evenings. It seems to be the most free for the rest of for all of us.
yeah, yeah, most of the time. Most of the time.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I hope so. But with regards to that, that's what I call an announcement, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
Is that John, at the very least, won't be able to join us on Tuesdays, and as a result, we are leaning toward moving to a different day.
Sundays.
Yeah,
Sunday,
that's
Sunday,
what we're looking at.
Sunday.
Yep. That's what we're looking at. So that's what I call an announcement.
Yes. So, Midget, how anything going new on in your life?
Let me see. Well, not particularly. I'm just getting used to packing heat everywhere I go. Just getting used to that.
Yeah.
Trying to get to the point where I don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. So that's one thing. Otherwise, nah, dude, it's all good. I gotta say, like, nothing weird or strange. Boss is happy. Wife got sick but feels better now.
Glad to hear she's recovered.
Happy again. Yep, it's all good now. So, yeah, not much to complain about recently. TBH, TBQH.
Good to hear.
You won't hear a lot of noise out of me, I suppose.
You're just vibing over there. Just vibing. You, the wife, the kitty cats, the dogs.
The numerous kitty cats and the dog. Thank God, the solitary dog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Whereas me, I'm just doing the grind, man. Grind at work. Not as busy as I was worrying. Not as busy as I was expecting, but still busy.
Good, I guess.
The don't want to get into too much detail, but they're doing some minor seat reorganization at work, and I'm getting to meet some of my coworkers, and they're pretty nice guys overall.
Seat reorganization?
Yeah,
we got a new
no,
new fucking desk.
No, I'm at the same desk because I was on the same row of computers as the supervisor for my team, and he's just kind of good. Okay, I've got a bunch of empty seats on this row. I am recalling all of the agents on my team to be in the same row as me.
I
So
see.
yeah, so they've been filling up fast, and met a couple of decent guys, getting to know them better, joking in the chat room, things like that.
I see. When you have downtime, which is a little more available recently.
Not only that, but usually in the middle of a call, if you're in the middle of a long call, you can kind of sneak away for a moment and mute and chat for a minute or two.
Yeah, I guess, man. I see you texting in Discord on your phone. Yeah, I see you, man.
I
You're
find
at
time.
work.
I find time.
Well, I mean, at my office job, like I'm accountable to myself, and most of the time, which is really good, dude. I am right where I belong, dude. Like middle management, like say, give me a project and let me do it, and you'll have it done.
Yeah.
And let me go about my business, and you'll make money. So I'm good. But at the moment, there's being in rental, there's not a lot of action, this time of the month. So I'm able to hunt down stories with a little more gusto.
Zeal.
Yes,
And
indeed,
gusto.
zeal.
Plus, an extra walk a day with a cat.
Yeah, that is also a benefit, dude. We actually do that. So all good, man. Yep, nothing to complain about. Good
Ah.
time of the month right now, and uh, so feeling funky. I had something funky for dinner, man. I tried something funky. I
Oh,
made spaghetti squash into some pasta.
yeah. I heard some people do that as an alternative for like a low gluten or no gluten diets.
Well, that wasn't the reason,
Yeah.
but I had this, spaghetti squash that was sitting around, and I was like, what am I gonna do with this fucker? Right? And so I was like, well, I made a little sauce, chopped up some veggies to put in it. This would probably get John barfing right now. I can imagine it
Yeah.
now.
I mean, I'm in the camp of it's not for me. I like my traditional pastas too much. You know.
Oh, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Pretty
Well,
tasty. There's not a lot of meaningful difference between, other than maybe the strength of it.
how's the texture in comparison?
Like, pretty much the same.
Maybe I'll
Pretty
look into
much
it
the same.
someday.
Oh, dude, definitely. It's so easy. You just roast it 400 degrees for like 45 minutes with some olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Hmm.
Fucking dank, bro. That's all it takes. And then you can add some like Romano cheese or whatever. Maybe some.
I'd go more for a red sauce personally. I like my marinara. My marinara.
Well, that's what I tried to do tonight was homemade a marinara with it.
I just don't got the time.
Yeah,
It takes
so
forever
just
to do that.
well, I mean, marinara is the right choice. You don't want nothing else with it, to
I
be
don't think it would
honest.
do well in a white sauce, though. I'm not much of a white sauce guy.
No, not at all. No. So you do want like just straight marinara. It's all good though. There's no like texturally and almost flavorfully, depending on how it takes any flavor because it absorbs it. But
Hmm.
there's no meaningful difference. You'll have a heap of noodles, effectively, and they taste good. If you like rice noodles, which are a little starchy and they're a lot starchy. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
whenever I do
so
rice in what was it in my pressure cooker, I've actually got a proper rice strainer to get as much starch off them as possible.
oh, I see.
Makes a very
Well,
good fluffy rice.
nice.
So, but we're
Anyway,
we're
well,
getting we're getting a little off topic from tonight's show.
I suppose we're just filling the we're just filling the airwaves, filling them with our
Yep.
bullshittery, our
Oh yeah.
nonsense.
All that nonsense. But I mean, if one
Well, speaking of nonsense, we have some freaking nonsense to cover tonight. I mean,
yeah.
we'd like to, I think, cover nerd culture, basically. We're getting dicey with tabletop, you know, and its
RPGs.
implications.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's always been sort of an underground, well, a largely underground activity until recently. I mean, until Reddit and
Oh God.
Critical Role,
Yeah.
basically, until we reached Eternal September, right? The September that never ended on the internet, the one where the normies pierced into the geek world and like, Big Bang Theory and shit.
Well, the thing is, that's not really nerd culture. That's faux nerd culture. What people think
Well,
nerd
it's
culture
what
is.
popularized nerd, quote unquote nerd. It's what attracted normies.
Hmm.
It was part. It's not what did it. It was a symptom of the attraction of normies to nerd culture
Hmm.
for sure,
Yeah,
and the
I mean,
mainstreamicization of video games and tabletops and role playing and geekdom in general. Like for sure, there it became fascinating to normies at around that time, and we see the implications. The freaking
the simplification of
the
the game systems, fourth edition, fifth edition
oh for
of D and
sure,
D,
yeah,
sixth edition's nonsense.
yeah, man, with progressive
Mhm.
poli, well, and ridiculous public statements made on the part of the
Yeah.
manufacturers or the publishers and
Or,
stuff.
or even just things like extra credits, basically saying, yeah, or orcs are totally black people, and like even you and I look at that and go, wait, you're what the fuck are you saying? I don't know
yeah, like
anyone who's made that equation other than your crazy asses.
well, and then they mainstream it, right? They
Yeah.
normalize it when they
Yeah.
fucking do that. And even if it was said as a joke, like
No,
the
they were
greater
dead
community
serious. They
and
were
like
dead serious
no,
in that
no, no, no.
video.
I mean, even if it was said within the community at the time, as a joke, like, you're an orc, like, what are you, some kind of N-word, right? Like, no, I mean, still, that was a minority within the community for sure. And, it's kind of, you could make that comparison to a lot of races.
Hmm.
They deracinated D&D, didn't they? No more races. Race is a construct. Well, yeah, it's a fucking construct of the universe. So let's
Exactly.
all agree that there exist races in this fucking
Well, also,
universe.
in most versions of D&D, the orcs were either a species that was heavily corrupted by a literal evil god, or were created by an evil god. Usually, the god of the apocalypse.
Well, didn't they try to nerf the meaning of alignment, good, evil, lawful?
Not
Like,
that
didn't they?
much. They kind of simplified it in fourth edition, but they brought back most of it in fifth.
But I mean, the wording of it, or oh, evil, like shit
Yeah.
like that.
I wouldn't be
I don't know.
surprised. I mean, I don't touch fifth. I touched fifth edition once. Like, this is weird. I'm moving and I moved away from it. I have fond memories of fourth edition, but that was because of my first tabletop. And look, if you can get a hold of the character
Dude, go
builder of
back to
fourth ed,
three. Go back to 3.5,
no,
dude.
I'm Pathfinder now,
3.5
man.
is.
I'm Pathfinder now.
I see.
3.75.
Well, we can live with that.
Yeah.
It is like an expansion on 3.5, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's affectionately called 3.75 edition for a reason. It is heavily
Yeah.
based on 3.5. It just gets rid of some of the weird things like how you calculated. And I don't want to get too into the minutia. It made skills easier to understand. It reduced the number of skills to something that was more understandable, but not like fourth edition D&D where there's like 10 skills and that's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, that was a major
Mhm.
whiplash
Mhm.
between 3.5, where just the skill section of the player's handbook was like 15 fucking pages,
And then there
right?
was, 8 supplements that added in probably another dozen skills.
Yeah,
And
and
then
you
there were
had
examples of professions which are technically you could do almost anything and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, all of that. What kind of sucks about that system, though, right? And that people realized is that it all kind of had to be codified. It
Mhm.
wasn't really freeform. It was very canonical.
Mhm.
Like, oh, what fucking sided die are you gonna use for that?
Well, it's always a
Ability
D20,
skill or
but that's
right,
other
but like
games. Yeah.
right, but that's what I'm saying. Other games came along, Pathfinder, freaking what were some other ones like D6, you know, D6 based games, stuff like that, where they took out some of that rigidity, from it, where everything had to come from the handbook or be sourced or whatever, to a more free form, you can use dice to do whatever, different dice than D20s and shit, right? You can use
Well,
different dice.
Well, I
You're-
mean, there's a couple of different schools of thought. Again, I don't want to get too into the weeds because I know I can get autistic about tabletop very easily. Midget can attest to this.
yes,
But
I have to,
there are
like a therapy
Yeah.
dog. I gotta sit next to you and look at you every time.
there are, to boil it down to the simplest, there are two different schools of thought for tabletop games. There is the single dice roll or a small group of dice that have a modifier attached that tell you your results, and it's either you got to score above or below something. And then there are the dice pool systems where each dice you roll, you have to either get above or below a certain number, and that gives you successes. Those are the two major schools of thought, and those two systems they shall never intermix because they completely diverged.
Yeah, they are pretty
Yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, god damn it! What was the name of the game I was trying to think of that I used to play? Fucking
Fatal.
Runner.
Fatal.
No. Fucking
Cyberpunk.
Runner.
Cyberpunk
Yeah.
2020 or whatever it was called.
No. Something Runner.
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dice pool system, and I'm a big Shadowrun
Dice
guy. I'm
pool.
playing 5th edition right now. 6th edition
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
exist,
like fucking-
and you cannot provide any evidence to prove it does.
Well, that's the fucking thing. Let's talk about why these new editions fucking suck dicks. Why, like, these corporations are coming out with these nerfed and, like, kid glove, like, super snowflake, goddamn.
Or just hyper simplified to appeal to
how do you
normies.
make things better by removing content?
Well,
That is
okay,
a major fucking point of
Pathfinder did
contention
it.
for me, dude.
Pathfinder,
Well, yeah,
they
can
consolidated the bulk and they cut away the fat. But that is,
Yes, okay.
but they didn't
that's-
get rid of a lot of the freedom. And the thing is, Pathfinder still could be streamlined a little bit in certain areas because some things are pretty punishing. Like there's a joke in Pathfinder. You need you need 3 feet to take a whiz and a 4th feet to shake it when you're done.
That's funny.
Yeah, it can get a little ridiculous if you. But the thing, yeah,
I have Hand of Shaking. I have Morgoth's Hand of Shaking, and
yeah, that removes 1
I
feet.
have
That removes that 1 feet
I
requirement.
I auto crit every shake, and it always gets that last drop, so I never wet my underwear.
Exactly.
Auto crit.
Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, look, we've got a pretty good example of this trying to appeal to everyone, which, well,
Which is not necessary,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's not really necessary because what players appreciate is the freeform nature
and the
of these
escapism.
games. And escapism, yes, majorly. Like, what is the point of role playing other than being someone other than yourself? Dude, I had friends of John's, like, we had friends who all they would do is role play, probably because they were depressed.
Mhm.
Like, so they would do.
I mean, it's helped me
tons and
through
tons
stress.
Well, for sure. And you can act out stuff that's bothering you in a safe environment. And in a lot of cases, the environment is safe, even if everyone in the room is fucking racist. Like, like it's a fine place to be and to also like role play. Like, that's fine. I don't particularly care for the role playing aspect. I'm more of a hack and slash dice roll thing.
Oh, you're a
type of
role.
guy.
You're a role player. You
I'm
want
a role, double
whereas,
L. Yeah.
Whereas I'm a role
player.
playing my role. I prefer RP,
Right.
RP
No,
builds.
I hate shit like that. Acting out character shit.
Yeah. I
And
like
stuff
that.
like
I find
that.
it
I'm
fun.
like, what do I shoot slash, or burn? Like, what do I do?
You are generic fighter guy.
Right.
You're
yeah,
the human
totally.
fighter. You're the human fighter of the party, aren't you?
That's right. That's right.
How can I optimize
I
my build
might
further?
go barbarian cross class for the feats.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so
God, what was it?
I'm gonna exploit as much as I can.
A
I
little
was
bit of
a
an
dwarf
anecdote.
priest when I was 12. I was like 14 at the time. We were playing D&D at the local comic shop, which I got kicked out of for smoking weed in, by the way, when I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
So don't hold it against me.
I won't.
I did my part. My mom turned me in, or and I did community service and shit. I didn't go through the court system or nothing, but I showed up. I washed cop cars. Anyway, yeah, dude. So I was the generic dwarf priest, right? So that was me, just
So what?
generic.
Heavily armored, moving slow but steady.
Moving slow as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't get shit done, to be honest. I never reached a real high level because I never got shit done. I smashed like one thing with a hammer in like 6 weeks. Yep, for sure. But that's the thing. You are subject to what the game master can come up with. And you can hope that the GM you're with is skilled. Some people get paid, right, to do this. Some people get paid to create adventures and lead fucking D&D groups, don't they?
There are paid GMs out there. They vary in quality from excellent to they're just looking for a quick payday.
Yeah, for sure. But to be honest, the good ones are really fucking good.
Yeah.
And they do dedicate time to giving you scenarios in which to play out your characters.
Oh yeah.
So
incorporating elements of your backstory into the world and events.
Well, yeah, a good character is going to have a backstory, is going to have. I think some rules even require that you take character flaws, right? That you have some, at least, detriment to your character.
In Pathfinder, there is such thing as a drawback you can get to get an extra background trait. It's not required.
Right.
It's not
Stuff
required.
Like that.
It's not a massive negative, but it's also not you're also not getting a great boon. It's things like, you add this skill to your class skill list and get a +1 to it. It's not that powerful.
Shadowrun, I thought I remembered it requiring a fucking character drawback.
No, it doesn't. At least in modern editions of Shadowrun, I don't know about 3rd edition or earlier.
It was fucking 2013, bro.
So, that would be probably either 4th edition or 3rd edition, maybe 4th. There were drawbacks you can get in Shadowrun, and what they did is they gave you extra points. And actually, there was. Kind of getting back to combat wheelchair, you could be paraplegic or quadriplegic, but there were 2 versions of both. If you played as a character that didn't really need the use of their legs or body, like a hacker or a drone pilot rigger, it was actually not as many bonus points.
Also, you're right. That's what we should talk about, though, is that these things were contextualized within the universe. Like, they existed within an understandable, baseline realm of, understood, laws of physics. Everything is supposed to be consistent. Okay, and that's the beauty of these universes that have been created, kind of co-created, by the initial IP and the fan base.
Yeah, all the homebrew that eventually somehow works its way back.
Yeah, this is a major element of Dungeons and Dragons is the homebrew.
And the third-party companies. All of those years.
For sure. And we're going to talk a little bit about that shortly, but the freaking combat wheelchair in its utmost is really an example of the opposite of taking a character drawback. Like, this is in its utmost, it is in no way a detriment. Like, why would you play a disabled character if they were in no meaningful way disabled? Right?
Based on what
it could be interesting, right? It could be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. A disabled wizard, for example, he has to use a certain amount of his power to get around.
Yes, he has
to have an unseen. He has to always use unseen servant to have his servant push his wheelchair around all the time.
Whatever that might be, right? Because we exist in a world without electricity, right? There's gonna be
magic is expensive. Magical items are ridiculously expensive.
Energy, and it costs you physical energy. Yeah, absolutely. So it's supposed to be universe consistent. It's supposed to, and when you break that consistency, you break immersion, you break meaningfulness. It really does detriment
Yeah.
the experience,
Yeah.
in my opinion, for every player in the game. Because if one player can just do whatever they want, then
Without
there's
any
no
consequences. Yeah.
stakes.
The
Okay,
only
then
the only hard and fast drawback I could find with the combat wheelchair, and it's not much of one, you move 5 feet slower per turn, basically one square on the map, than most other characters. And there are characters that normally move only 20 feet. So, technically speaking, you're just kind of averaging between the two. Small, slow characters and normal speed characters. You just become the average between the two.
right.
You can.
And
It's
beyond
technically
that,
all
though,
terrain.
it can be indestructible. That's it at its
Effectively,
utmost.
it's effectively
But
indestructible. You can't be thrown out of it under any circumstance.
but on the flip side, in a homebrew situation, say you're a game master and one of your characters says, I want to have a wheelchair. Your answer to them is, okay, tell me how you came upon it. Right? Did you make it yourself? Did you have a
Yeah.
craftsman make it for you? What is it like? What are its physical characteristics and limitations? What is it that you do as a character? Right? Build me a character in
Yeah.
this universe
Yeah.
that's gonna have this contraption,
Mhm.
as a means of mobility, right? And the reason for it, and the way he interacts with other characters, in the universe. And then it's up to the game master how accommodative he can create the universe without breaking that immersion, right? So it's just a bit, the beauty of the system and these IPs is that, or it was,
Mhm.
that you
Well,
could make whatever you want with it.
we have a tiny bit of fake news. This is a third-party supplement. They're trying to claim it's homebrew. This is not homebrew. Homebrew is something that you generate, and it's basically your party and maybe another group that you hang out with that might use it. Homebrew is not widespread. This is third-party supplement. But I've seen some very official looking artwork that has cropped up about this, so I'm thinking it got snuck into 6th edition of D&D.
Fuck.
But I can't confirm that. But yeah, reading some made with adventures in mind, supportive and intuitive, designed for daily activities and the pressure of combat. Designed by first-rate artificers. Do you know how expensive it is to hire an artificer? First-rate
Right,
ones.
but all at the affordable price for the discerning adventurer, right? All with no drawbacks. All of this with no drawbacks. Can withstand high impact.
Work as
Can
a
even
weapon.
work as a weapon. Now, hey, dig it. I was thinking about this morning when you brought this up to me. I wouldn't mind playing a disabled character in the D&D universe but like it would be hard to get around my house in a gilded chariot, covered in massive scythes.
Yeah.
Drawn by,
Yeah.
a team of 6 horses, all covered also in scythes.
But if you
Right?
had,
Like that would be difficult.
but if you were a very successful adventurer with a lot of money, maybe you have that for going out and about and adventuring. But
Yeah,
at
that's
home,
my
you've
that's
got
my
just
carry.
yeah.
That's my carry chariot.
Yeah. Whereas in
That's
your
my
house,
chariot.
you just have a basic just
I have
comfortable
my
chair with
shower
wheels.
chariot,
Yeah.
right? I got my,
Yeah.
got my chillin' chariot. I got my basketball shorts
Yeah, and so
chariot.
anyone can be adventurer. No, not anyone. Do you know how many stories are? Oh my God! That the farmer comes into the adventure guild. My son ran off with my old sword. He wants to go on an adventure. Please, somebody help. He
Yep,
can't be an
there you go.
adventurer. He's not nearly ready enough for that shit.
Well, that's the level 1 adventurer right there.
Nah, that's
a
a level
farm, a farm boy with a rusty sword.
That's a level 0, my friend. Level 1s are better equipped than that.
Well, it depends on what universe you start
Yeah,
in,
but I
right?
mean,
So
look,
here we have some official looking art.
no, this is fan art. The official fan art
Fan
was something I
art.
can't find. It was apparently not only can this wheelchair just it's just miraculous, you can't be thrown out of it, but apparently with druids and wild shape it will transform with them because
Is that
their animal form is disabled too.
Jesus?
And
I see. Can we see
yeah,
some examples of that further
uh,
below?
not exactly. We can
Thank you,
double
Milo.
check, but yeah, here we
I
go.
thought I saw something like that.
So yeah, you got the look.
Oh,
I would like to know
that's
how the
official
fuck
looking.
these are. I think these are made by
Love you very much.
these are made by a company that does miniatures. But yeah, apparently a Critical Role character was in a combat wheelchair to promote it.
I
Yeah,
see. Okay, so like the Critical Role character, like the one who, again, this is one of the
is that you, Midget?
avenues
Is that
for
your combat
making.
chariot?
There you go, dude. That's what's up.
Uh,
One of the avenues for making this normal to normies
mhm,
is Critical Role. So you're
mhm.
saying they used this limitless power combat wheelchair
Mhm.
really in the form that you described, that's like nearly indestructible and can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this and
This is
that.
what he looked like. This is a fan's rendition of the description by the
I
original player.
see.
Look, if this was a high level character like a high level dwarf or gnomish craftsman, I could see this. Interesting, fascinating,
I
but
would think he was an epic level character
yeah,
though, multi-class with like
artificer or some
right
other,
yeah,
yeah, or some
exactly.
sort of semi crafting class or some sort of wizard type.
So that's what I'm saying. Like this breaks the immersion for every other character
Yeah.
when this character has
Mhm.
like no limitations,
Mhm.
no
Well,
meaningful
and
limitations.
look at this. If you can't handle the concept of a wheelchair in D&T, you lack imagination, history, and a sense of adventure.
That's
The
such a
first
straw
wheelchair
man,
begins in
bro.
the in fifth.
Fuck.
Do you know how fragile those wheelchairs were in the fifth
That's
century?
what I'm saying.
Only
Like, if you
exceptionally
make it in the
wealthy.
fucking
Yeah,
realm of reality,
yeah.
if you make it contextualized in the realm of reality, I'll go with it, bro. Like, make me believe it.
Hmm.
Like, that's the thing. You can't impress me with this, I can do anything I want bullshit. Like the first wheelchairs were in the 5th century, but what were they like? They were, as you say,
Fragile,
fragile. You know,
expensive. Only
right.
merchants,
Custom,
yeah,
made by
yeah,
hand.
by
Like,
master craftsmen. Also, Nailbender. They tried to wokeify 40K. It backfired so fucking hard. They fired the author that wrote that book.
I hope you're
Yeah,
right, and I hope we see an
yeah.
example of that tonight.
There was one time they tried to use a they them. They snuck it in there for, I think it was a noble. No one cared, and then there was another one where they had a mechanicus that went by they them, and again nobody cared. And they keep
Oh, that
trying to
even makes
wokeify
sense.
it, but
That even makes
yeah, I
sense.
mean, well, the
Like,
thing, well, they're also batshit
they're
crazy cyborgs.
transhuman.
Yeah,
But isn't that the thing we talk about almost every week? Is that they are depicting transhumans
Mhm.
as they them. These people have sold their souls. They
Mhm.
don't believe in the human aspect of humanity. They don't want it to exist. They wish to transcend humanity and their spiritual, existence. Yeah, just more examples of that.
Well, the thing is, look, I'm in the position of a cyborg can still be human and have a soul. The question is, are you sacrificing your humanity to gain more power? Are you putting yourself into something so alien that you can't even think like a human anymore? Because, if somebody just got like a replacement body and is slightly stronger than a human and they acted like a human, you'd be like, yeah, that guy's a human. He just has a robo body.
Well, all of this
Yeah.
is very existential. It
Yeah.
makes me realize that even I don't know the answer to
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
question of what makes
Yeah.
us human.
I mean, some of the simplest philosophers, I think that for I am is kind of where they have to start at.
More or less, dude,
Yeah.
we have nothing else
Yeah.
than our observable reality.
Yeah. I mean, if we
But I
found,
mean to say, like, if you observe and you maintain, in my opinion, if you observe and you maintain consistency, like, and unapologetically, like internalize your observations, then you will arrive at a universal truth, right? That can be understood by anyone who attempts to, through effort achieve that, right? That is, and that kind of parallels Buddhism, doesn't it? It's like nirvana. It is like the understanding, the lack of desire, or whatever it might be. So, true understanding of yeah, I think that can be arrived at by anyone who applies their faculties, but you have to be unapologetic about it. And that also is why the fucking consistency of the universe speaks
It
to our
has to.
primal, right? It speaks to us on a primal level.
Also,
Go ahead.
if your condition, well, depending on the edition of D&D, because sometimes restoration or regeneration spells are quite expensive. But if you're if you're a high level adventurer with tons of money and you're still in a combat wheelchair, why haven't you just paid a couple $1,000 gold to a priest to cast regeneration on you? Boom, your legs are fixed.
See, and you know what? Damn, dude. Like, that even removes the meaningfulness of disability, doesn't it?
Well, the thing is, remember, usually that is gatekept by needing a lot of gold, higher level. Like even if you got a cleric in the party, it might still cost 4,000 gold to cast the damn thing.
Well, back to what I was saying though, like it speaks to our primal understanding of immersion to make these disabilities meaningful in the universe, right? Where you have to explain in universe how the thing is supposed to work. That is because we all must recognize that through our consistent application of observation and internalization, we can arrive at a final truth, right? That is why, in my opinion, it's important that these universes remain consistent to us. We don't understand it, but we, with our consciousness, we understand it at our core. That's my opinion.
Yeah, because the thing is, look, any tabletop RPG player worth their salt knows that if you are unable to move, you're almost guaranteed to be killed in that encounter.
In an encounter, I suppose. But what about, like, the random role play? I once role played in a game where there was no combat. It literally drove me crazy, personally crazy. Like, I could.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's
the
not
guy
for
was
everyone,
like, "This
but-
is an all like diplomacy mission." And I was like, "Oh
God.
shit! I signed up to be a Marine. Like, point me at it and I'll shoot it."
Yeah, I mean, there's always, sometimes look, even in a role where you're rolling the dice playing game, sometimes there are times where your specialty doesn't come into it. It's unfortunate, but it happens.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. Like, it's on the player too it's on the player and the DM to work together. It's a social thing, and that's why it will continue to exist despite moving on, right? Despite moving on to the next tab. CWal?
Yeah. Oh yeah, moving on to the next one.
Despite,
yeah,
right? That's
trying.
why it will continue, because we can use these things ourselves. Any type of way we can want. We can pick up these books, and they will perpetuate themselves in some type of way, whether in digital underground format or in print, which is still available. Collect these things.
And
collect
not only
physical
that,
media.
not only that, but do you know how much kind of technically homebrew stuff has been released on forums that GMs go, I like that, and they've taken it. The open
Isn't
gaming
that
license,
fantastic?
Open gaming license is threatening that.
That's why information is a commodity. They want to lock it down with stuff like replacing the open gaming license, which I didn't even know was a thing. Dude.
Oh, it's been around. There's a reason why they tightened it up a little bit with 3.5, because in 3rd edition there were so many companies that were just taking D&D 3.0 and just
They
spinning
were,
it.
weren't
And they were
they?
just spinning it in every direction.
3.0 is
Yeah.
what spawned fucking Neverwinter Nights
Hmm.
on PC, wasn't it? That was
Might have been,
3.0.
yeah, because I think there was a flaw somewhere in the open gaming license for that one, where basically there was effectively no control that
I
the
see.
Wizards
Yeah,
could
and
maintain. Yeah.
that can possibly damage the
Hmm.
brand
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. So I mean that's reasonable if you are the owner of the intellectual property that you protect its integrity. You remember Nintendo back in the 80s licensed to every damn body and their mother, and the
Yeah.
ET fiasco thing,
Yeah.
right? So the whole market damn near crashed. People learned their lesson
Well,
from that.
Nintendo rose after the crash. They were one of the companies that kind of was part of the recovery effort.
Well,
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
since then, dude, they've been
yeah,
doing it right, dude.
yeah.
I will I will sing the praise of
Hmm.
Nintendo as a company,
I
like
mean,
doing.
they can be pretty dickish on fan stuff though. That's
Oh,
not for
sure,
profit
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
parody. So they definitely cross lines where they go a little too far. But it's much more understandable that they're a little trigger happy than not trigger happy enough.
Well, and on top of that, if they're trigger happy and they make good products,
Yeah.
dude, I'm okay with that. If they're fucking, dickish and they suck at their job, like a lot of modern gaming companies, many
Mhm.
of whom I'm sure we could name by name, um, then, fuck them, right? But Nintendo does it right, dude.
Yeah.
Consistently,
Yeah.
in my
They
opinion.
they try to be comfy. They know what their audience is. They aren't trying to expand much outside of it.
Well, anyway, so back to the
Mhm.
open game license, which again I didn't know was a thing, but
Mhm.
I guess now I realize allowed people to, like you said, create
Yeah,
content on their
and
own
not just for
utilizing
free.
some framework.
Well,
Right, some
yeah, they could you
frame.
could make things for D&D and you could even sell them as long as you credited Wizards of the Coast with D&D originally. That's how open it was.
D&D,
Yeah, yeah,
so you
back in the
could
day.
even print like a handbook,
Y-
like a fucking like a campaign book
Yeah, you can make a
for
custom campaign.
D&D, right?
Yeah.
And print it and sell it
Hmm.
and make your money off
Yeah.
of your creation in the D&D framework,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. As long as you don't print the copy, the actual stuff from the main book in large amounts. If you like have little reference, like, hey, check this page in the core book, or hey, here's a little reiteration of a very obscure rule from the main
Nice.
book. Yeah,
So you're selling
yeah.
product,
You're
bro.
selling you're
You
selling
still need to
product
fucking.
using their framework, and either it was you just had to credit Wizards of the Coast, or they got a small cut. I don't know what exactly was, but it was basically pretty negligible for creators. Not only that, but then there was just if people just did the shit for free and they just release shit. Yeah,
Right.
especially with the advent of digital distribution. You know how many PDFs of supplemental shit are
Yeah.
out there?
That's pretty dope, though.
Yeah.
I love shit like that, though. And that's the type of thing that they can never crack down on and they're scared of because anyone can make it. And when anyone can make it, that means white supremacists can make it.
Oh
And
yeah.
when white supremacists can make it, then no one can make it.
Except for us priests in the tower.
That's right.
Yeah.
Us priests
Us.
within the cast,
Yeah.
the higher caste that is, as we shall see, the Wizards of the Coast approved, like purple hair dye wearing.
People that never played D&D when they were younger and probably bullied kids that played D&D.
Right, and it
Yeah.
totally sucks. All of these fandoms are being usurped by non-fans.
Mhm.
Like, again,
Or really corrupted
I,
fans.
I've made this argument so many times. Like, if these IPs were put in the hands of fans,
They'd flourish.
yeah, well, maybe they
Well.
might suffocate under the weight of like all of the autism. But on the other hand, like I agree with you though, largely what will happen is a proliferation of, right? A great proliferation of material that will, some of which will flourish. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because these fans would care about and remain consistent within and, cherish the IP and expand upon it meaningfully. even with diverse characters. I believe that fully
Mhm.
because there is room for that shit within the fandoms of these places. Again, we have room for combat wheelchairs, but nigga, how did you make it?
Yeah.
How did you? What are its limitations, right? Like, how did you?
Do you tinker with and upgrade it over time so eventually it
Right?
becomes this
Yes.
powerful
Does
thing,
it?
or does it
Right?
start
Yeah.
out
There you
overpowered?
go.
Yeah.
Exactly. So explain it to me within universe so it's
Yeah.
consistent and meaningful, right? It's moralized. It has a moral value. And that is the truth. Consistency within the universe. The truth. It has a moral value. That is why these things are meaningful to players of these games. That is why these games will always exist in any form that the players wish to play them.
Well, also with how fucked this open gaming license thing is, a little anecdote. As I think I mentioned earlier, the guy that runs my Shadowrun group is like, "Hey, CWal, you play Pathfinder, right? Yeah, I refuse to play anything by Wizards of the Coast anymore. Can you give me the crash course?" And I was like, "Okay." And
Nice.
yeah,
So
and
he's
Pathfinder
gonna run
is
you
a
guys up.
spin-off, and Pathfinder actually is a spin-off using the old open gaming license for 3.5, about 2-3 editions back. And it's excellent.
I love 3.5. I love 3.5. I've never played Pathfinder, but I love.
Yeah, it's 3.5 but less clunky, and also they've
3.5 was clunky as fuck, dude. You needed like 4 books to play that shit. Oh my
also
god.
what was it, the as rules as written, the peasant railgun, the cancer mage with
I don't
limitless
know
strength.
any.
Oh, the amount
don't know
of, because of
about
all the supplements in 3.5, the amount of theory crafting, the chicken mancer that can destroy the
Yeah,
universe by 3rd level.
yeah, dude. There was a lot of exploitation in that
Yeah.
edition. That's for
Well,
sure.
that's what happens when you start bolting shit on top of other shit. There's
Yeah,
a
and that's what
combination
it
of
was.
power
It was
creep
all
and
bolted
just, yeah.
together. It was bolted onto the version 3, 3rd edition, and it was all just bolted on. Like I said, you needed 4 books to play the fucking dwarf mage. You needed the fucking main. You needed the supplemental. You needed the creatures and the fucking priest spells. Like,
Yeah.
bro, no shit. It was all bolted onto one another, right?
And Pathfinder's become that glorious mess. They've added in so many classes. There's so much third-party stuff out there. Oh, it's a fucking beautiful mess.
Well, isn't that what it's all about, dude?
Yeah.
It's about
You work
playing
with
the
your
fucking...
GM to declunk it for your guys' game. Sometimes, the GM's like, yeah, we're going to play an overpowered party and have fun. Other times, no, we're going to be a little bit more brutal about this. All depends on what you're in the mood
gonna
for.
fucking die many times.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of character death, but that's just me.
Well, character death is different than like situational death, like where you all lost. I've seemingly overpowered this enemy in this situation, right?
Yeah.
So you all wake up at the end and you're like, oh, whatever it might be. It is what it is. You lose encounters sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you got to retreat. If the GM's doing his job right, but if in most D&D you're meant to kind of be the hero party, and while you might have battles that really push you and kind of go, look, we're gonna have to camp out tonight and deal with the rest of the dungeon tomorrow. Other times you just power through because hey, we're a little over leveled, or hey, we got lucky and we're able to take out the big bad right at the beginning.
Right, but it is situational and it is a mutual fucking arrangement. And that's why all of these assertions by these companies that these fucking environments are somehow toxic among players. It's like, nigga, aren't you playing with your friends? Like, aren't you playing with people that are gonna make it enjoyable? Like, what are you talking about? Are you walking... Maybe even if you walk into the local game store, but in my experience at the LGS... you're gonna be greeted by people who want you to enjoy the game with them, right? Who want you to understand and enjoy their hobby because it's not mainstream. Yeah. It's hard to get into. They want you to appreciate the intellectuality of it.
It's not hard to get into Pathfinder in 3.5. It just requires you to put in some effort. You can learn the game in a weekend.
Who fucking cares?
You can learn the game and
do
do fine in a weekend.
You never will.
Exactly. It's not. Look, stop dumbing down the game so you can get to the point of near zero effort to play. I want that barrier to entry of needing a little bit of effort, where you might need to sit down with a veteran player on like a Thursday night, the night or the before the weekend to get your character together, because you're just stumped and don't know how to put it together.
Well, yeah,
but it's
for
your first
sure.
game. There's something special about sitting down with a new player and kind of helping them form their
That's what I'm
concept into a
saying. That's
character.
what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's something about it. And people with the passion for this hobby enjoy that type of shit. I cannot understand why these fucking companies would ever make these statements like our player base is somehow toxic. Okay, your player base, bro, is what sustains you, right? And on top of that, why would anyone partake in the game with their friends if their friends treat them like shit? Why would they even have friends that treat them like
Oh
shit?
yeah, there was a string of memes I know we did a while back where it was basically I can't remember the name of the artist, but he kind of has that very kind of a watercolor style, very exaggerated and character driven while still being a bit realistic. And he did the
Yeah,
thing where basically he had like a series of 5 comics or something like that, where it starts out with like hey,
I know
I want to
exactly
join the
what you're
game.
talking
I
about.
want to.
Yeah.
Hey, can I join the game? Yeah, sure. Here's the player book. The next comic is like, hey, these rules are kind of complex. Can we change them? No, we're not going to change the rules we've been playing for years. Like, why are you trying to exclude me? It's like,
Right. Why
yeah,
are you trying to exclude me? Can you
yeah,
change this? Why are
yeah,
you trying to exclude me? It's like,
yeah,
no,
yeah. Then the
we'd
next one
love
is
for you to
yeah,
join us.
yeah,
Please play
look,
by the rules.
yeah,
Otherwise, this game is not meaningful to any of
yeah,
us.
and then
And you ruin its meaningfulness
yeah,
to everyone in the universe.
and then the next one is basically this interloper convinces the party to throw out the other guy that was trying to defend the rules. And then in the very next comic, she's now like the game master or something. Okay, here are the rules now. And the guy's like, "Well, look, these rules are these rules aren't very nice or fun." It's like, "Okay, get out of here. We don't need toxic people in our fandom." It's like
Right.
they
There you
they
go,
they,
dude.
they don't want to join fandoms. They want to be the gatekeepers.
They want to usurp them.
Yeah, they want to be the gatekeepers. Whereas why I agree with Razor Fist. We need to gatekeep the fuck out of this. And if that means we
Yeah,
gotta
I
bully people,
agree.
we fucking bully people to leave the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, if you don't want to do this the right way or the way that we all agree to do, then you need to leave the space. This is not for you.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't want to put in that effort the
Mm-hmm.
night before the campaign with the veteran player to
Mm-hmm.
get your character together,
Yeah.
then, bro, what are
Yeah.
you even doing
And
here?
accept the fact that
Right?
every once in a
I
while,
might give you one night, one
Mm-hmm.
session where we all get together from driving 2 hours away to get
Mm-hmm.
together in person to roll some fucking dice, and you have to take those 2 hours to make your character. I'll give you that one time,
Mm-hmm.
but you better put in the effort between now and next week
Mm-hmm.
when I drive another 2 hours to get where I'm going to play this fucking game with you,
Yeah.
because we're all getting together and we all know what we're doing. We have a passion for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. It's just, yeah, let's be toxic, right? Fuck
Mm-hmm.
you.
Leave.
Jeez.
Get out of here. You don't want to. Your character sheet is half finished. We let you play with basically a barely functional character. Hand wave shit
Yeah,
for you. We told you finish up your character sheet and get. And the GM was like, "Look, finish up your backstory for me. I don't need anything complex. You give me, 3 paragraphs, and I can work with that.
right.
And if you want to add some more to it, just don't do anything a little way out there."
Again,
Yeah.
consistency. There
Yeah.
exists a truth in the universe, and you must conform to it, right? You have to
Oh,
you
oof.
have to fall
They
on
uh
one side or the other.
they tried to slip in a no class action clause into the open gaming license. Oof.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah, they tried to. But yeah,
So
so
there's a lot of shit going on
yeah,
with
and the
this.
thing is, the entire fandom, even the woke side of it, just basically shit all over Wizards of the Coast. It's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, now
All
they can't
sides.
now they can't canonize their combat wheelchairs,
Yeah.
right? And their in-universe sex changes. Look at her pride flag. Look at
Yeah.
their pride flag. 18 plus minors, DNI. This license still. Yeah. Oh, interesting. What is this? Pride, no pride. 18 plus minors, DNI.
So was it?
What
Okay.
is that the fuck about? Can we look into this motherfucker right now? Can you find this person real quick?
I'll have to be
Lily NYX. Yeah, make sure it's not NSFW before we
careful.
fucking
18
bring it
plus
up.
usually means NSFW.
I guess you're right. Minors DNI. What is this? What is this fucking thing? What am I looking at? This is disturbing.
Spaceless, unintentionally blank.
Lily NYX
Pretty
underscore
standard.
of-
Okay, so here we go. Okay, it's pretty generic stuff. Okay,
Do they have pronouns in their bio?
No, space left unintentionally blank.
I
Yeah,
see.
they seem to be a nerd. I'm not seeing much in here. It's just okay. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, you said.
No,
Oh God,
no.
yeah.
No. It was.
What did
It's one of those generic all cops are bastards. Beware, cops are totally gang members. Like,
I mean, sorta. Who can disagree about that,
Yeah.
right?
yeah. So
I guess we can all share a drink
bitching
on that
about
one.
Andy. No. Pride shit.
Bitching about Andy? No.
Yeah.
All right, I already know I can write this person off. They are not of my tribe.
Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah,
dude.
it's a
If they're
good day
bitching about
for
Andy,
Elong
no.
to release his DMs with Andy Waffen. Blah blah
Andy-
blah.
Oh my God, dude. So they're
Yeah.
they're Elon trannies and fucking
Yeah,
Andy
yeah.
no haters because they're Antifa
Yeah,
trannies.
so yeah.
Yeah, not a big deal.
So far. But
Oh,
yeah,
dude, is that a black sun?
No, it looks kind of like it.
No,
but I think
it's
so.
not a black sun,
Yeah, so
unfortunately. Well, a leaked copy of the OGL appeared 2 weeks ago, sparking massive butthurt.
yeah.
So, it's just a draft, bro. It's here, sign this draft.
Yeah.
Sign this draft.
Look, I
copy
guarantee you
of this agreement.
it was probably getting close to that was probably a final draft how clear it was.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man. I'm telling you. Here, sign this draft copy of this agreement, bro. Worry about it
Here
later.
we go. So moving on to the next one. Walks back, keeps intact. Wizards of the Coast fucked up so hard. They go, know what? We're abandoning this project effectively.
I don't think they didn't understand the implications when they created the new license.
So
I don't believe for a second that they didn't understand the implications.
I mean, even the clearly controlled normie shit of Critical Role supported creators over Wizards of the Coast. Everyone was against Wizards on this. Like, Jesus Christ, guys. How do you fuck up losing people you pay to play your game?
Well, keep in mind that the people at Critical Role would have lost a substantial sum of money.
Oh, they could have made a
income.
they could have made a backroom deal with Wizards.
They were, in my opinion, specifically targeted by shit like this.
Seriously? Why? Because Wizards. Literally all Wizards would have to do is slip a little bit of money.
Role made like $1 million a year.
Oh yeah, they make a ton of money. But the thing is, all Wizards would have to do is just say, "Hey, give us 5% off the top, and and we'll sponsor you officially."
They want 25.
Jesus,
they want 25% off the top.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Critical Role might be the only group that makes more than $750
a year.
year.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, dude, it was targeted at shit specifically like that, and to make sure that nobody makes another Neverwinter Nights. Right?
Well, here's the problem. They'll make it, but not based on D&D. They'll make it based off of Pathfinder. Instead, or older editions because
is that intellectually like
The gods and the lore of the world is, the mechanics not so much.
I'm telling you, it's a gray area, man.
Well, here's the thing.
Like you said, it's like
no,
a
no,
spin-off.
No, well, yeah, it's a spin-off, but here's the thing. It was made under the old open gaming license, and the thing
Which
is
not supposed to.
you
Right
can't, you
in
can't,
it's
you can't override
in
those.
the,
Yeah. Can't
right?
override those.
Isn't it written in the
Yeah.
OGL 1.0 is that these things shall exist in perpetuity, right?
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
one of the stipulations of the original license.
It's really hard to override those. Not only that, but because the thing is, when Pathfinder was created, that other thing was in effect. You can't retroactively do that. There are various laws. It's basically, at that point, it's basically you're trying to renege on a contract.
It's a very nuanced
Yeah, it's
situation.
nuanced, but Wizards wouldn't win that fight. They'd lose it.
Well, the whole thing is, pretty complicated, and that's why I didn't really fully understand what the fuck was going on here. Is like, what was the case originally?
Yes, it totally was a draft, but several third-party creators claimed they'd receive it along with a contract to sign.
Right.
That it was. This was
like
the final.
This
was the final
this draft
form.
copy, bro.
Yeah.
Sign this draft copy of this agreement. We'll get to the finer details later.
Yeah.
As long as we get your signature, just sign here. Like, as if, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, Wizards thinks they're the shit. Yeah, you guys have Magic the Gathering, but that's been dying for years. D&D, even though it's even though D&D is claiming that it's we got so many new players. How much are you really making on the books? How much are you making on the subscription service to access your fucking content?
Jeez, dude, I know I ain't paying them.
Yeah.
I know I can go to FLGS and get
we go on the high
copies.
seas of the ocean of cyberspace to get all our shit.
Nah, dude, I get my physical copies, bro.
Yeah.
Let me get the player's handbook. Let me get the creature's handbook.
Yeah.
Let me get the original, the core handbook.
Yeah.
Let me get all that shit in print, dude. Let me collect that shit. Let me have it so that they can't be changed.
Exactly. You can also get away with older versions of digital copies. Those are hard to get rid of once they get out into the internet.
Oh yeah, they do propagate. The internet is indeed forever.
Oh yeah, there used to be an archive site that had so many different games on it. I think it finally got shut down because it did violate copyright, but it lasted. So and
That's
then
too bad.
And then here's like a list of some of the big changes. Open gaming license.
We can go through them quickly.
The deauthorization, which again you can't do if you say this license and they agree to it and it says it'll be in perpetuity. That is a binding contract between the two of you. There is no releasing it unless you can prove they somehow violated the contract. And if you made the contract too open, you're gonna literally have to burn millions of dollars, and it's gonna be really hard to convince a jury. Because most of them are going to be like, okay, you literally had me sit in this fucking courtroom for 2 months to listen to your bitching about a child's game? Yeah, no, I'm ruling in favor of the defendant. Fuck you, Wizards of the Coast. Yeah. You might get lucky on appeal, but, as Andrew Branca puts it, appeals are for losers. Oh, no, sorry. Not Andrew Branca. What's his name? The one that does Barnes. Robert Barnes. Appeals are for losers. Because it's true.
That's funny.
Yeah. So.
No, appeals are for people who get activist district court judges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, losers.
Okay?
They lost.
And you appeal to the court above them to get it overturned like 75% of the time. Right? These goddamn activist district courts, like down here in Florida. Holy fuck. Don't even get me started on these bastards. Yep, your ruling's just going to get overturned in 3 months. You're just making me spend the money on lawyers and fucking appeals processes and shit.
Yep.
And, implementing your stay on my lawful order, to fucking satisfy some political bent for only a period of 8 to 12 months while you impose your fucking personal viewpoints on the rest of the population. Fucking cunts. Can you tell it's got me animated? All right, scroll down.
Royalties.
Royalty. Yep, like we said, if you make over 750, again, targeting specifically
25%.
Critical Role.
Yeah.
25%, no matter what your actual profit. Fuck you, give us 25%. It's like a feudal lord that required a certain amount of grain regardless of the harvest, right? Like, so moving on, they wanted royalties. Only printed or electronic files are allowed, so no more video games, no more mobile games, no more fucking interactive stories like,
Well, also the problem is at this point the D20 system has been around long enough that if you follow patent law, there's no way in hell you can keep those systems locked down. It's become so widespread because I think even Knights of the Old Republic technically used a variant of the D20 system.
A D20. Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
Not only that, but there are so many other game systems that have enough money to fight you, Wizards of the Coast. You don't think that Pazio, the guys at Pathfinder, aren't going to partner up with 3, 4, 5 other companies to class action your ass? If you try to destroy their ability to, operate as a company? You're just cornering a rat. You're just cornering an animal, man. They're going to fight back and they're going to gut you alive. Even if you win in the end, you're going to be destroyed economically.
Yeah, see, appeals, dude. Appeals are meant to draw things out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, scrolling down. They want separate commercial and non-commercial licenses. So if you want to just casually post shit to your blog, you need to be registered with them, but you don't need a commercial license.
Yeah. Well, again, what they should have done, if they were smart, they said, okay, if this is for non-commercial use, just include this blurb at the back of the book. D&D is
no, but now you need to be registered with them and tell them exactly what you're doing with their brand. They're guarding the fuck. This is basically guarding their brand.
Yeah.
They don't want just anybody making shit.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I could take the universe and make a white supremacist fucking campaign.
Oh, so you're gonna play? You're gonna play a game where everyone's a golden elf or a sun elf,
right? And or something like that, whatever it might be. And I'll fucking publish it, right? And I'll put the Wizards of the Coast label on it, and they'll get all butthurt.
Yeah.
That's
and again,
what they're trying to protect themselves against.
All you'd have to do is include in the blurb in the back, right next to the logo, like this is the game D&D, which this book is based off of, is owned by Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast does not, this is part of the open license, blah blah blah. Legalese include Wizards of the Coast does not, it does not condone any anything that is created that uses this license. We do not claim it. We are not responsible for it.
Well, that would be in the ideal setting.
Yeah.
But instead, what we're getting is attempts to crack down on shit on everybody, so as
not
to
only
prevent
that,
shit like that from happening.
But them trying to have these licenses where you have to sign up for it, all it's going to do is put the shit underground and make it 9 times harder to stop. I mean, do you know how hard it is to stop a PDF from spreading?
I was going to say, don't you love sailing the high seas?
Exactly. Yar harm, me matey.
Yar harm, matey.
So how does the poop deck look, Midget?
I too sail
How does
the
your poop deck look there, Midget?
That's right. It's pretty clean. I tell you, I swabbed it just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
All right, shall we scroll down?
Scroll.
Wizards of the Coast can unilaterally remove the license. That's right. Yeah. You want to publish things and even make a little bit of... Fuck you. No. We can take it away from you anytime we want. We can say, no, you have to stop selling that.
That courts fucking hate those kind of things in contracts. They will invalidate contracts so fucking fast on one of those.
All right, scroll. A draft gives Wizards a royalty-free license, which may be removed in later versions. What? Anyway, so yeah.
If I understand what that means, it basically means that Wizards can basically use anything you create using their property.
That's right. Without paying you royalties. Exactly. That's right. Yeah. Right. The parties got confused there for a moment.
But the thing is, as a concept, if they wrote this better, I'm like, okay, got it. Yeah, if it's a purely free you're non-commercially doing the thing, and they say, hey, we like that, we're adding it to the game. That basically, I'm fine with that agreement for the non-commercial people. The commercial
Remember,
people technically,
that happened with Warcraft.
Yeah.
Warcraft 2, they made footies and shit. They wasn't part of the new Warcraft remastered agreement, was that like if you create game modes, then they belong to what is the company? Activision
Blizzard.
or whatever?
Activision Blizzard.
Yeah. So stuff like that some players were a little bit upset about, and that game is trash anyway.
Yeah.
But
Nope.
that was one of the aspects of
arbitration agreement, and there to try to
can't use lawsuits. Yeah.
Again, those get fucking lanced really quick by courts. They only buy you maybe a few months.
Okay, scroll. Intermediate tier gives Wizards of the Coast annual financial reporting. That's right. If you make over a certain amount of money, just like the new IRS agents, they'll audit you. They want to see your fucking books. They want you to report to them exactly how you're making your money and off what products. And they want to see the products that you're selling with their name on it. I mean, admittedly, again, they're protecting their brand, but very, very closely. Super jealously, like to a degree that is not healthy. Commercial creators have to register with D&D Beyond. Right. Okay, so you still have to sign up. Alright, and then scroll. License requires creators to add a badge to their materials. Oh yeah, that's right. Identify their OGL work with a creator product badge. That means you're certified with them. You show your badge.
I mean, again, if they wrote this better, that'd be fine. Basically saying, hey, we as Wizards have an agreement with them. They are allowed to commercially release this product. It's a way to have, not gatekeeping, but at least have kind of the general, okay, we've made an agreement.
Right. No, it is meaningfully important to protect your intellectual property and your brand.
Yeah,
that's true. Mm-hmm. That's why you officially license product, right?
Yep.
That's why you offer official licenses to product creators. But anyone, and again, we emphasize the beauty of these systems is that anyone can use them to their pleasure. You can create a white supremacist / black supremacist / purple supremacist universe.
So Golden Elves,
as a game
Drow,
group.
and Mind Flayers, which already exist already in the game.
Right, so you can create any sort of universe you want in any dice system that you want. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that they've been given to us all of this material, but as you pointed out earlier, CWal, it's been out there for so long now.
And it's been so remixed so many times, and I guarantee you...
It's permeated pop culture and society.
A clever lawyer could argue that at this point, it's that D&D is taken from other gaming systems, thus invalidating their claim to their own system.
I don't know. It might have reached... the realm of public domain at this point.
Yeah, it's arguably reached that point where at least the most basic of mechanics, rolling the dice,
permeated society.
Stats,
it has permeated culture.
It cannot
be
copyrighted.
A lot of
it's everywhere.
A lot of, as you say, a lot of aspects of it have been adopted throughout various forms of culture, like even
Video
the
games,
depictions of characters. Right, of certain character archetypes are all lend upon one another.
I mean,
right?
Hell,
lean upon one.
You see it in certain, even non-playing media, like literally, like video game. Sorry, like movies and TV shows where there's some sort of aspect.
A dwarf looks a certain way, an elf looks a certain way.
No, I mean,
it's permeated culture, and it's been there for a long time. It's reaching the point of public domain at this point.
Yeah.
It's such
Yeah,
an
the
intrinsic part
gods,
of
their gods are completely fine as a concept to be copywritten until the effectively end of time, because those are
right.
unique to them. But
That's right.
rolling a dice and having a stat modify the outcome is
There
such
you
a
go.
basic concept.
Yeah, it's
It might predate
uncopyrightable.
AD&D.
Yeah,
It might
it's
predate
uncopyright.
AD&D.
I'm with
Yeah.
you, dude. It's
Yeah.
uncopyrightable.
Yeah.
You can't.
And while you can
can't.
argue like specific rule wording, you could. But the thing is, you can just reword the rule. It's what happened to fucking what happened to IBM with Compact. They just found a way to rewrite the BIOS to emulate near exactly.
Well, if you can make it happen on your own, then it's yours, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you can reverse engineer it without using a scrap of their original writing, boom.
So I was gonna say like China, but no, they need everything from the source to get it right.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yeah. So and an update on the open gaming license from D&D Beyond
All right. So they themselves,
have made it. Yeah.
what, like a week and a half ago?
Yeah. Basically, this is pretty. It's getting a little stale, but it's still recent.
So what is this in summary?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this
Yeah,
at all.
we initially conceived of GL with three major. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products.
That's what I said 20 minutes ago,
Yeah.
isn't it?
They revealed the fucking reason.
Exactly right. Exactly right. They are going to punish everyone collectively so as to prevent someone
The 1% that not even a tenth of a
is
percent
going
of the
to
community will ever
publish
see.
with their fucking badge on it
Yeah.
a goddamn campaign of the, Nazis eliminating the undesirables.
Yeah,
Right.
The golden elves going after those miserly gnomish merchants.
Right. Exactly. Dude, that's what they're trying to
And, the gnomes.
Why
with
is
their
it
funny
always
names and
the
tiny
same?
hats.
Why is it every single time, CWal? Why does it have to be that it's always anti-white? Why does it always have to be like actively preventative of
the thing that is fucking
like
hilarious,
white self-interest?
in almost every edition of D&D or other systems, the gold elves are almost always an extremely magically advanced
I've
and
never
insanely
heard
powerful.
of the gold elves. I've never heard of the gold elves.
They're a subset of the elves that are legitimately elven supremacists in various D&D and other
See, like, I've
fantasy
never
games.
even heard of
They
them.
are almost
I'm talking
always
about, like,
portrayed as
the community doesn't think on these terms.
Yeah.
Okay, on the regular. The community is already fucking diverse as shit.
Mhm.
A bunch of nerds and outcasts get together, and the reason that we get along is because we have an enthusiasm for this hobby. It's the only thing that brings a lot of people together. In fact, it brings people of opposite ideologies together.
Yep.
Okay? This is already at its core an inclusive fucking concept. We get together, we enjoy time together role-playing as someone else. Okay? And you get into situations that are hopefully funny and creative and you can interact with in novel ways that you wouldn't experience in your everyday life. Okay? So why would you choose to be disabled, right, in this fantasy realm? And even if you did, why wouldn't you make it meaningful so that the rest of us can have a good time?
Yeah.
And then on the third, we're all respecting each other's
also,
desire to fucking have a good time.
Everyone loves an underdog story where they overcome whatever is keeping them down. Like you start out, you start out as like
that's
a
the
craftsman.
human experience.
Yeah. You start out as a craftsman whose legs don't work, and you start out with like some sort of wheelchair contraption, and then by the end of the game, you got like some sort of weird like fantasy Iron Man suit.
CWal, you bring me to a fantastic point. CWal, what is justice? Tell me, what is justice?
Oof, that is very
no.
Very
I'll give you an answer. Giving that which is their due. Giving a person that which is their
got
due.
it. Yeah.
Now, what does justice require? It requires a moral foundation.
Exactly.
That which is their due means that to which they are entitled morally.
Yeah, morally entitled to.
Right, and so we must agree to a moral foundation so as to give someone that which is their due, so as to do them justice, so as to have right consciousness. Okay, so what got me here was that in these universes that players create, if you are an underdog, then the sensation of achieving justice has a moral foundation upon which we all must agree. Again, it goes back to consistency within the universe that we're playing, that we exist, that the truth exists that we can all achieve.
Never forget, kids.
God damn, dude.
Never forget, kids. Level 1 characters are a dime a dozen and squishy as shit. When you start, if you're starting at level 1, you are not special. Or you're a little bit special. You are
not a special snowflake.
No. You might be slightly better than the other starting adventurers. That's about it. Now, figure out a way to improve yourself so you can be the top of the Adventurers Guild, the paladin that slayed the evil dragon, the wizard that has transcended life and death to become an immortal being of pure energy.
I love it because it's about so much more than the nerdy shit or role-playing itself. It's about justice. It's about achieving your apotheosis, okay? It's about reaching overcoming adversity to realize a universal truth. Okay, to come upon meaning in yourself. Role-playing in a universe where you can, within a couple of weeks, reach level 20, okay, that is...
boring.
That is parallel. No. What I'm saying is, that's parallel to your lived experience. Okay? You can internalize that if you want. And you can take those lessons and apply them to your life, right? This is a safe space. Intrinsically, it's one that you and your friends make up together.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't have to be controlled by some overarching corporation or some goddamn global homo conspiracy.
Yeah.
Right? You and your friends get together and you play this fucking game for the sake of it. And the rules that you've been given graciously by the people who created Gary Gygax, in 1970, what?
Yeah.
8?
Something like that. He created the original D&D or AD&D based loosely on Tolkien's work.
There you go,
at least for the aesthetics.
And, I didn't share it with you, but on CBR, they actually have published a shit piece about how it's problematic that D&D still draws its roots from the racist, sexist, homophobic fucking Tolkien. Yeah, thank you. Universe.
Okay, hold on. In Tolkien's universe, there were
don't even try
warriors.
And argue against it. It's not worth it to try and argue against it. It's completely intellectually dishonest at its core. It's an affront, but that's what this fucker does. I read about him, his profile, his other published works, which are many on Comic Books Reloaded, I will point out. But he's just a shit stirrer and a fucking progressive activist. Yeah, he's definitely subversive.
Well, it's
so that's his motivation.
Well, it's kind of funny how the subversives tend not to survive when everything goes to hell. Because when nobody trusts anyone,
likes them.
Yeah, when nobody trusts anyone, those that survive are those that well, didn't trust anyone to begin with and prepared.
Well, and can tolerate high trust
Yeah.
societies.
Yeah. Or demand
Kinda
them, I should
sucks.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Demand.
Yeah.
With physical coercion.
Yeah.
Demand.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're saying, "Oh, we'll still release one that does the first goal." But here's the thing. Again, okay, as I keep
We
harping
still
on,
want your balls
yeah,
on a fucking platter.
you guys do
If you
realize that a
please,
couple of years
serve
ago,
them up
yeah,
shaved.
yeah,
Serve them up shaved, right? If you
yeah,
please.
yeah,
We have delicate taste here at Wizards of the Coast.
yeah,
We want only the finest balls
yeah.
on silver platters.
Yeah, and again, there's a reason why he's basically apolitical. He doesn't care about a lot of this stuff. As my GM for Shadowrun, from what I can tell, he's apolitical. We've never even talked about politics really.
Well, that's the point.
And he's
that's
like,
the
no,
fucking
fuck this
point,
shit.
isn't
I'm done.
it?
I'm done.
That's
I
what
wanna
brings
play
people to
Pathfinder.
fucking together, right?
Yeah.
That's what brings people together about this fucking hobby.
Mhm.
Is that like you can unite over the experience of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nobody wants to talk politics. We're all here to escape. Okay, that's what it's about. So again, why would you choose a disability? And then if you did choose a disability, why wouldn't you make it interesting?
Yeah. Why are you making
Why
it so
wouldn't
that
you make it
you're
interesting?
just slightly slower than medium-sized characters?
Right, and
Well,
otherwise
yeah,
indestructible
otherwise,
and
yeah.
overpowered.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fuck.
And
I
yeah.
want one. I
Yeah.
want a disability now. Like,
yeah. Well,
come
remember, they see power in being a victim, which there is no power in being a victim.
yes,
in
that's a
in just
fantastic
society.
point, CWal. Emphasize that,
Yeah.
though.
There is
Emphasize that.
there is no power really in being a victim, in a just society, because if you,
Right.
or I should say, a perpetual victim, a legitimate victim that was victimized once does have a certain amount of power if the society has come together to punish the individual that victimized them. They're getting their moral due. But if you
Yes,
choose
they're
the path of
getting
the
justice.
perpetual victim, you
That
are
which is their
choosing
due.
to be in that situation. You are
Yes.
choosing to be victimized.
Then what is your due?
To be a
Then
victim.
what is your due?
Yeah, to
Right.
be a
No,
victim.
no.
Yeah.
No. If you are choosing, right? If you are choosing to be that victim, then that which is your due is victimization.
Yep.
Yeah, yes.
But one final thing, just from a couple years back, Imperium is driven by the Warhammer is not. Have you seen the arguments over which faction is best in your own fucking community?
Well, it does exist to a degree. Like, human supremacy is the doctrine of the Imperium.
And by necessity, if you actually look, because every other faction
Well,
wants them dead.
That's the nuance of it. That's the nuance of it. Okay, right? That's the beauty of understanding the universe as it was created or has evolved. It wasn't created that way back in the day, like in the 80s when everything was just absurd.
Yeah.
Right? Like space elves and space dwarves and fucking space orcs.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
it
like
was
everything was
insane.
rock and roll
Yeah.
and very fucking cool. Rule of cool. If you could do it, if you could think of it and it was cool as shit, it was allowed.
Literal moving, basically fortresses with cannons that fired shells the size of actual tanks.
Hell yeah, dude. So if it was cool, it'd be in the rules. But like, you know, everything gets competitive, and as you say, autists like want to roll dice and
they want a power game.
absolutely, and it gets exploited, and you have to rebalance things. And I just got tired of the infinite rebalance. Like, my shit got nerfed or couldn't compete. Never got the attention that it needed, and still hasn't. I don't think that the Guard are in 9th edition yet, are they? Or only just? Yeah. So, like, anyway, so I got tired of all of the updates and rebalances and, you know, seasonal. It's too expensive a hobby for that.
Oh, yeah.
But on the other hand, like, if you wanted to play it any type of way that you wanted, you can. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to find people that will play it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Look, if I had the time and the money to get into the hobby, I would make an inquisitorial army just because the amount of crazy shit and fun shit you can do with that.
Yeah, see, but all of that's been superseded by rules changes. You can't make inquisitorial armies anymore.
Oh, they
That's
got rid
like,
of those where you couldn't have like some
yes,
Space
dude.
Marines
Yeah,
backing
that's
up
like
some guard
that's
and then
like
some.
fifth edition. Yeah,
Oh,
that's like fifth edition shit, dude.
Yeah.
We're on 9, dude.
Jesus.
We're past
Yeah,
all
because the
that.
thing is, look, the Inquisitors are.
It's
Inquisitors are a
no,
fun
that's what
bag
I'm
of mixed
saying, dude.
shit.
It's
Yeah.
tiresome. Like
Yeah.
it's tiresome. The
And also,
rebalances and the rules changes.
Yeah.
It's too expensive a
Well,
hobby
and
to collect all of those figures and
Yeah.
have them taken from
Yeah,
you.
and now we have the Primaris, the Space Marines.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah.
you got to collect more Space Marines.
Yeah. And
So
I
it
think they
is
had.
what
I think Games Workshop had to be basically arm twisted to make the old Space Marines have something over the new Space Marines, and it's just.
Well, why don't you? I apologize, dude, but I have to take a quick break. So why don't you read through this for a second?
Oh yeah, it's just
I gotta relieve. Gotta take a relief break. 1 second.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's like for clarity, satire, the humor is used for it basically that they created a universe that's literally built on paranoia, xenophobia, and literal genocide, and they're like, but we don't want our fans to look down on people for certain characteristics. It's like, Jesus Christ, I get it. You're trying to have some for satire and humor, but you guys have literally written books of the most fucked up shit you can imagine. I mean, the fact that you explained how the fuck a servitor is made and that it is a punishment is what the fuck. Yeah, yes, and everyone understands the Imperium is not an aspirational state. But the thing is, people like to go to darkness. It's to get it out of their system, guys. They want to play in a place that's grim and dark and mean. They want, because everyone has darker urges. And a way to control them is just, have some fun in a setting where no one gets hurt. And you're trying to nerf the community. It's just insane that you guys are like, no, Warhammer's for everyone. No, Warhammer is for a bunch of fucking autists. Just admit the fucking truth. It's for a bunch of fucking autists that like to collect action figures and paint them. Because I don't see a lot of normies putting thousands of dollars down to make a Space Marine army for Warhammer.
I'm telling you, bro, they really don't. Mm-hmm. They really don't. It takes a certain type of motherfucker, the type of motherfucker that doesn't have a lot of friends, okay, that isn't really mainstream, doesn't really appreciate the mainstream, that's into something obscure, something a little bit nerdy, or requires a lot of their personal time, and not, when you're painting figures, you're not at the bar socializing, right?
Nope.
You're not fucking.
You're
so
not at the gym.
Right. You're not that either. Yeah. So, dude, it's an escape. And normies don't always want to escape. They want to be about it. So, it's the opposite of normie. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, like you said, gate kept. Right? We should be guarding these hobbies against this sort of attitude. This sort of fucking, we need to include everyone but you.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Well, in the end, you guys make it so only a much smaller group will support you because they have to have the same ideology. Yeah. You don't want them to be of certain groups because because they're white, they might offend a black person someday.
Right, they might organize in their own self-interest.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. So, I mean, you definitely can't have that. White myths, white heroes, white, positive figures.
And every time you remove one of those, you don't destroy the culture. You push it further underground. You make it more extreme. It is hard. It is hard to destroy a culture.
Who you talking to? Who you telling?
Yeah.
Who you talking to, bro? Who you telling?
Everyone out there, man.
Everyone but me, bro.
Yeah.
God damn.
So, well, let's. I think we're kind of getting. I think we're kind of running out of material. So
we are, but I wonder, dude. Do you want to crash down into general and see what those guys are talking about?
I don't know if I want to crash
Rather
down.
than bringing them in, you want to crash down and see what they're talking about? I don't see either of them talking.
Well,
right?
we can't. No, we don't see them highlight if we're not in the same room. It's a Discord thing.
I see. Okay, yeah, right on.
So I mean,
I was thinking, dude, maybe we could just be like, "What up, boys? Do you want to go on the air?" And if not, we'll get out of there. And if so, maybe we can talk about something with them.
Yeah, we could. And if it doesn't work out, we'll just
right, exactly.
We'll close
bail.
Down. Yep. So
yeah, we'll bail.
So
all right, ready?
Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Oh shit! Pew 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 pew.
The mic is opened. The mic is open.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I hope we didn't interrupt. You know.
Nah, just gunning down some Japs with a bar. That's about it.
Oof.
Oh.
Because you're on the air right
man.
now.
Japs
Colin.
this time though. Yeah, you're on the internet. Japs this time and not Chinese.
Yeah, they're invading the island. I got a bar.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. You were talking about literally a video game and not metaphorically literally.
Yeah.
I see. You weren't totally trolling. You were literally talking about what you were doing right now. That's funny.
Unpopular opinion, a bar is just an automatic rant.
So, while you guys were on YouTube, I was talking in your chat, which you weren't looking at, but
I wasn't. No, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Right.
We're a little bit better, especially when John's around.
It's whatever, dudes. But I was commenting on your shit about Games Workshop. The last thing I said was I used to think Games Workshop would be the first one to collapse under its own fuckery, and now between it and Hasbro, it's a race to the bottom.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Yeah, these IP grabs and these fucking, like, shit woke policies are really undermining faith in the brand and passion for it, for the hobbies.
I mean,
like, nobody wants to buy these products.
When CWal mentioned the tagline that they're using for that, blank is for everyone. No, everyone's not going to stare at a piece of paper, crunch numbers, and roll fucking dice and measure by the inch to move a piece.
No,
right? Doesn't it take a certain type of motherfucker?
It takes a
to,
certain
to
amount of
want
autism.
To do...
You have to be at least this far on the spectrum to play this game.
I love that shit. Okay, but I understand that many people don't. You know, I played with trannies. Okay, and I respected their fucking pronouns. You get me? Because I was happy to play the game with someone. Alright? And we treated each other like humans because that's the point. We didn't talk politics. They got uncomfortable when politics came up. Okay? Because it's not what we're there to do. We were trying to play the fucking game.
I mean, unless we're talking the politics of the Eldar question, of course.
Of course, what you said, CWal, about the when you were talking a bit about the dark shit about the cherubs. That also reminded me of another thing.
No. The servitors.
Or servitors, yeah, my bad.
Anyway, so what Spartacus were you saying? Like...
Well, actually, I can relate to that because there's a guy he's actually one of the employees at my local game store. I play Commander with him regularly, and he's a devoted leftard.
Yeah, and you just tolerate it, right? And you don't talk about shit, right?
Because we just cannot agree on politics. He thinks that everything a Republican does is wrong, will always be wrong, no matter what they do.
Isn't it tiresome? I don't know, Spart, if I've talked to you about this before, but my dad's that same way. His every opinion is an ideological position. And, you know, widely available public mainstream reporting, you know, he's just either unaware of or literally discounts, right? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't make sense to them.
Even with the narrative spins, it collapses in real time because there's
every week it's a told you so. with these niggas every week. It's a told you so, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because it's all
Moved on
fucking
to the
more
next thing.
conspiracy. Yep, on to the next thing.
I will say though, Midget, with the 40K thing, the one thing I didn't like that they started cracking down was there was a YouTuber I watched, and he done animations. One that was about the Krieg. His name was Sodas, and then he got a cease and desist from Games Workshop, basically
I think I
saying
heard of sodas. Yeah, sodas.
the
So-
I'm amazed Flash Kids hasn't gotten one yet.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, they're-
man.
they've been like going after those animators and like, dude, like some people. I remember like when Soda's Krieg stuff was gone. I swear to you, there was like 3 separate like YouTube channels that probably just popped up out of nowhere that just had Soda's animations.
Yeah, that's
had to-
awesome. Yeah, I remember that. I watched them as a result of those mirrors. I was able to see them. Not from the original, but after the controversy arose, then they were mirrored. That's when I saw them, and they're fantastic.
Dude,
Like-
I liked seeing what people did, and there was a dude I was following on Twitter that was showing like the guardsman using the last rifle. Like the animation was cool and crisp. He was like from single shot to full auto.
The guard
was like-
need more,
Yeah.
I think we'll agree that
Well-
the guard need more love in 40K. There's only about
Yeah.
a million
Dude,
space
like I
marines.
said, I don't.
There
From
are-
my
there are
last
trillions of
understanding,
guards.
they're not even brought up to 9th edition yet.
Yeah.
Like they're still in 8th edition, from my understanding. A few updates have been released for them, and like a few, but they're not. They don't have 9th edition rules yet. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I do like that in 40K, like everyone said, there's almost limitless possibility to insert like your own thing if you're in a Warhammer game. And I would
Yeah.
not go into much details, but me and CWal are in one. We have our own custom ones, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well, you're meant to have fun. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be
We-
enjoying
we'll
yourself.
both
That's the whole point of. That's the whole point.
Well,
of
yeah,
tabletop.
Yeah.
Well, the DM that's there, it's like text-based response and all that.
Yeah, play by
But like the
post.
dude, play by post. But the dude is a really chill dude. You know, you can just chat with him, and you guys can just like shit talk for hours about just stupid stuff. And dude's a really good DM, and it's very hard to find those.
Yeah, and some people get paid because they're good, right? They get paid to do it.
Or some people recycle ideas like they're going out of style, or they see a movie or read a book, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do it like this." Then a couple weeks later, they'll
Yeah.
do something else.
Yeah, and that can be,
Well,
depending on your style, either lame or very exciting. Like, I want to do something different this
Midget,
week.
the
Like I
dedication-
said, I had friends who did this all the time. They played multiple campaigns, like, over and over, and
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with
Yeah,
them.
Midget, the dedication of our game master, he's making a custom homebrew system. It's still half complete.
Jesus, you guys are
So,
autistic.
yeah,
aren't
we
you?
are that autistic.
Yeah.
He's still expanding it, still putting mechanics into the game with each new campaign.
And what's funny is once it's like, because he's not planning to run it forever. Like, give him like 2 to 3 more years.
Mhm.
He says he's gonna like everything down in like a massive book that he'll give to all of his players.
Yeah.
And that is something I'm really interested in, hopefully to get when that time comes. Just because I can just look back at like, I remember that. That shit was funny.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
granted,
And-
I can't really talk too much on tabletop because of my limited experience. By one D&D session, the GM showed up once and never showed up again.
Oh, lame. So you had a whole bunch of people ready to play, and the GM never showed
Well,
up?
basically, it was an intro to D&D.
Oh, well,
It was,
alright.
it was for a lot of people. It was their first time playing.
The
You got to go to a store, in my experience, for something like that. Go to somewhere where they're hosting weekly, like, whatever.
Well, the thing is, it was we were the first generation, I call it, of our
I see.
Of our college's gamers guild. And
Yeah.
We were going to expand beyond just playing Halo every fucking week because it was 2006.
Yeah, no, I was living in those days. What are you, in your mid-30s?
Yep.
Yep, me too, dude. I think we have the same birth year, and I'm right there with you, bro. Yep. And I was doing the same thing, founding, gaming RPG club member, in college. Definitely. Yeah, that brings it all back to me. I wasn't even going to talk about all this. I didn't even think about talking about all this. Yeah, RPG club founding member back in 2006 in college, bro.
It was Guitar Hero / Rock Band.
Yep, it
Halo
was stuff
3,
that normies
Smash,
wanted to play. Yep, but we
Yu-Gi-Oh,
all
Magic.
knew about the good stuff. We all knew about, like I said, Shadowrun, and
All I know about in terms of tabletop was D&D.
Yeah, right.
D&D is
Well,
a juggernaut.
that was the
everyone's
most
heard of.
accessible. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the most accessible. But we played all of them. But on our free time in RPG Club, though, we played mainstream shit, like you said, Guitar Hero. We played games, video games. Normies were getting into video games. It was okay at that point to play Call of Duty, right? It was okay. You were still cool.
Now, what Call of Duty games did you guys have? Was it the COD?
Modern Warfare, dude. Modern Warfare.
Good thing.
We were
If you would waited,
it was.
If you guys would
I
have,
believe it was 2006. The Xbox 360 had barely been out.
Yep, it was Modern Warfare, dude. That was the best.
See, if you guys would have went to college just a little bit later and founded it, the Modern Warfare 2 days.
I wouldn't have survived in college because then I'd have lost.
We would have been indoctrinated little shits, wouldn't we? We were the last fucking generation to get out of school without getting mind fucked, because it was like a generation behind us that started getting mind fucked.
A couple years.
It was just a few years. Yeah, it was just a few. We were literally out of there by the skin of our asses, without getting mind fucked.
Just the whole.
I've said that for a long time too, not just tonight. I've said that years ago. I said that this is fantastic. I'm having a good time. Yeah, Spart, for real. Yeah, we're vibing for sure. Because, dude, I said that years ago. We were the last fucking group of people to get out of there before getting really,
looking back, you could definitely see the goddamn signs.
Yeah. Yes. I agree.
Especially 2008 when Obama got elected, and
yes.
That was when it all started.
And you know what? Too, I got to admit, I was all about it. I was a little retard.
So was I.
Yeah. A little retard. I was all about it. Yep.
Because I was convinced. Let's see. First time it was Carrie.
I was so fucking smart. Yeah.
Carrie.
So fucking smart. I know every goddamn thing.
And
stupid bastard.
But even then, I was anti-communist because I heard his wife was a card-carrying member of the American Communist Party.
There you go, dude. An immediate aversion, and that was your cognitive dissonance kicking in. And that takes time. That sort of shit, as it does. We're all where we are now as a result of where we were at the time. You can't change anything, right?
There was the correct choice in that.
Yeah, right. We didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know enough to know that we didn't know. Right? We thought we fucking knew.
Well, I knew immediately that with Obama it was going to be a gimme vote.
Yeah, dude, and it was too, because that was the ultimate controlled opposition decision.
People call me a racist for saying that. I'm like, look,
dude, my black Jamaican friend was dogging Obama back in the day, but you know what? It was because he wasn't Marxist enough. Dude, John would know.
He wasn't properly in the Democratic plantation yet.
That's right, dude. I'm talking about Jason, the guy who has been featured on our channel in the past. So nothing out of the ordinary or controversial.
The other thing I remember. Now here's an interesting question: when did you guys start getting into D&D? What was your first, where did you hear it? When did you start trying it?
Local comic shop, like I said in the show. Local comic shop. When I was 13 or 14, I played with a group of friends. And we met up there every week, and eventually I got busted, smoking weed in the bathroom, and it was a problem, and I got banned from the store, so I had to stop. And then I did it in college, and like I said, founding member of the RPG group there. And whereas we did stuff as a group of friends, on the side, we didn't have a lot of normie participation in our tabletop stuff, but we had events every month, where we did video game meetups, and people would show up to play Smash Brothers and Mortal Kombat and Guitar Hero. And
I feel that because our Gamers Guild did the same thing and set up an actual convention at our college.
Yep, totally, dude. I'm telling you. Yep, it was just a way to get our hobbies out there and meet people who were into the underground shit, which we would do kind of off the books, right, as friends. Right? We would get together with other people who actually appreciated the hobby, and then we would, justify our existence with college funds to the normies by hosting events. Exactly.
But I kind of fell out of it when all that happened was we'd show up and it'd be 4 people taking one TV to practice their professional Smash skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all they did. They came to the college just to practice Smash. Like, you can't do that at fucking home.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
And they never let anyone else play. It was just
that sucks, dude.
If they're doing like a rotating team, like one of them would play, the other 3 would hang out, and they would swap out and just play with different people. That would make sense,
No, they were practicing for Smash tournaments all the time. It's like, do that at fucking home. That's not what we're here for.
It's
stuff like that. Stuff
tires.
like that. Maybe.
Yeah, normies, fucking normies.
Get out!
I will say though,
gatekeeping is important.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. That's the moral of the story tonight, bros.
Gatekeep the fuck out of your hobbies, kids.
That is the ultimate moral of tonight's episode, isn't it? Gatekeep the fuck out of your hobbies.
Yep.
Because
Yep, and I think that's a good resting off point.
I think so
yeah.
too.
Yeah, so
yes, what you really should learn at the end of the day: gatekeep your hobby to the death.
Yes.
To the death of the hobby.
Go full on papers, fucking please.
Peppers, please.
Papers, please.
Papieren bitte. Achtung, ihr Papieren bitte.
Okay, all right, you want to join our group? Fine. You don't fuck it up. And if you fuck it up,
don't fuck it up. Don't fuck up our club. We have a club here. We all agree to these.
I mean,
God damn,
dude.
supposedly
came in to play the game, not change the game. I don't care how uncomfortable it makes you feel. You aren't the audience.
Oh God, yeah. Seeing
dude, fantastic. No, it can't be said better. It really can't. This whole 2 hours that we've spent basically culminates in 5 words. Gatekeep the fuck outta your hobby. All right, 6 words.
7. Gatekeep the fuck out of. 8 words. Out of your hobbies.
Outa. OUTTA. Excuse me. Outa. Yo.
No. I'm officially aborting. We're done here. Thank you all for joining us tonight here on the Porch Bois podcast. We'll keep you apprised as to our new date. If we still haven't figured something out, I'm guessing Midge and I will be here next Tuesday. Keep the lights on.
Nothing else.
Yeah, if nothing else, we'll keep the lights on. Yeah, so if you somehow stumbled across us and you like it, subscribe for more. Join our Discord. Links down in the description. If you want to throw us a couple bucks to buy us a coffee, feel free. If you want to hit that like button, we appreciate it, even though I doubt it does much.
Coffee? It should be changed to chalky milk.
Oh, fuck you.
Buy us a chalky milk.
Buy us a chalky milk. Damn it. Well, have a good night, y'all. Goodbye.
Have a good night, everyone.